Eastern Iowa. Welcome to another edition of Get to Know Gives Back. I'm your host, Quinn Pettifer, Manager of Brand Initiatives for the Gazette. For those that are just tuning in for the first time, Gazette Gives Back podcast series is a chance for us to get to know our nonprofit community. Many of our nonprofits are part of a really cool program the Gazette hosts called Gazette Gives Back, which supports nonprofits through free advertising, workshops, networking opportunities for them to get to learn from each other, learn from us, learn from others about issues going on throughout the community and how we can help strengthen their mission, their services. And this podcast is all about getting to dig deeper and learn a little bit more about each one of our nonprofits. With me today is Susan Johnston, Executive Director of Central Furniture Rescue. Hi, Susan.
Hi.
Welcome. I'm very excited to talk to you. All of our nonprofits are huge value, of course, but Central Furniture Rescue has a unique story in the sense that, one, you're still relatively new to the nonprofit world, right? As a nonprofit organization, but your own journey of what inspired you to start this organization up. So let's start there. What is Central Furniture Rescue?
Okay, so we collect basic furniture and household items from the community, kind people like you, and in turn provide them at no cost to individuals and families who have transitioned out of experiencing a crisis that led to homelessness, that leads to a new place to live. We work with over 40 agencies who provide us with the referral. That's how we know who needs the help, right? And we want to make sure that we cover these very 4 basic things that when you and I wake up in the morning, it's just there. The ability to prepare and serve a meal, dishes, pots and pans, can opener. We can give you a box of food, but if you don't have pots or pans or can opener or silverware, it does you no good.
Right.
The ability to bathe. When you get a new place to live, it does not automatically come with bath towel, shower curtain, and rug. And then a good night's sleep, a bed to sleep on. And then when you come home from work or school, you need a place to sit down, a couch or a chair, love seat, very basic things. But we have an amazing community that we get all kinds of gravy to wrap around that. And that gravy can look like a kitchen garbage can. Can you imagine your kitchen without a garbage can? It can look like a dresser. It can look like a lamp. It can look like a coffee maker, which I think is a basic human need, honestly, right?
It is. Anybody in the nonprofit community, if you don't have that caffeine, there's an issue.
Yes. And so this is what we do. We receive those referrals and then we contact the client to see how it is we can help them. And then we either set up a time for them to pick up their items or we deliver it. And so last year we helped 875 households.
Wow, that is amazing. Well,
Yes.
I want to go into a little bit more about your partnerships because I know that's a huge part of how this all comes to light. But how this all comes to light is also about you, right? So you have been in the community, a community advocate, a community volunteer for a long time. And 6, 7, 8 years ago, maybe you had this idea, this decision to create a nonprofit, and that is no small task. So, what inspired you to take this leap?
So, the church that I worshiped at for 25 years, we had a ministry called the Clothing Giveaway. And what that meant is twice a year, we were challenged with going home, looking in all of the drawers, the closet, underneath the stairs, wherever you were hiding things. And if you hadn't used it in 6 months, you need to ask yourself, do you really need it? And so we would then bring that stuff to the church building. And it would be stuff you'd take to Goodwill. Mm-hmm. And we'd spend a week setting up the fellowship hall and sorting through things. And then we'd open it up to the public on Saturday from 8 until noon, and they could come and get whatever they wanted. Through those years, the community got involved. Our biggest Saturday was right after the flood, and we helped 600 people. Wow. Well, in August of 2018, the woman who was in this for 25 years came to me on a Sunday morning and said, I'm not going to do this anymore. It is yours. And I said, can I think about that? And she said, let me talk to my husband.
That's being voluntold that you're
I
going to.
know. And she walked away. And I saw her husband out of the corner of my eye, and he knew exactly what just happened. I went, and it was always good for a bear hug. And as he's hugging me, he's telling me that his wife has the beginning signs of dementia, and I am the only one she trusts to carry on her legacy.
Wow.
Okay, I'll do it. And so my first one was the last weekend of October of 2018. So between August and October, we thanked her for all of her years of service, and all of the humans around me needed to impart wisdom about what they didn't like about the program, what needed to change, and didn't want to help.
The download of area of grievances.
So it came down to these three things. It's a lot of work. It's not relational. People just come in, get what they need, and leave. Mm-hmm. And 3, it's not conducive to shopping. You've got 3 hours and you've got stacks of blue jeans. It's Black Friday.
Yeah.
And so as I thought about this, I had remembered that I had met Phoebe Trapp, who was executive director at Willis Dady Homeless Services. I had met her.
Phoebe. The team over at Willis Dady is fantastic now. But yeah, she's a treasure. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I met her at a Rotary meeting. I called her and I said, hey, this is what my church usually does, but I'd love to open this up to your clients during the week while we're setting up for private shopping experiences by appointment. And she said, yes, that's great. Can we include Waypoint Domestic Violence? Sure. Can we? Sure. Can we? Sure. And so we had over 30 appointments that week. Most of them did not have transportation of their own, so their caseworkers would bring them, or I went and picked them up. Mm-hmm. So on Thursday of that last week of October of 2018, I met a woman named Dorisha. And we're walking around. We're being relational. And at some point I said, hey, Dorisha, is there something we can be praying about? We're in a church. It's kind of what we do. And she said, I start my new job at Walmart on Monday. Oh. Now, I knew this was huge for her because she had escaped domestic violence. So to feel safe enough to go back to work, let alone at a Walmart, is pretty huge, right?
Absolutely.
And I said, Dorisha, I'm so proud of you. And she looked at me and she said, nobody has said that before. And we're walking around some more. And at some point she said, Susan, my 2 little girls and I move into our new apartment on Saturday. Do you have any furniture? We don't have anything. My heart sunk. I had everything but what she needed. And I said, Dorisha, no, I'm sorry, we don't, but can we pray about this right now? And she's like, okay. And I took her hands and we prayed about this. And afterwards I said, I don't know what God's going to do with what we just asked him, but I know he's going to do something. I promise. What is your contact information? And she writes Dorisha a phone number, and I wasn't even sure it was hers. And I went into the other room and found her caseworker, and I told her what just happened. And I'm like, is this a thing? And she said, Susan, they're homeless. At any given time, there are 600 people experiencing homelessness, with 46% of them being children. She goes, sometimes we can get a donation at the exact same time somebody's transitioning and we can connect the two, but it's not everything they need. And I was like, oh my goodness. And we finished out the week, and now it's the first week of November, and Quinn, God would not let me let this go. All I could do is think about Dorisha and these 2 little girls, and these little girls needed to go to school. She needed to go to work. What did that look like? How did that happen? And so I sent a quick email to our small little church, and I did a quick post on my Facebook page. By Thanksgiving, 3 weeks later, I was at Dorisha's 3 times, filled her apartment with everything she needed, including a Christmas tree gifts and Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh my gosh.
And I walked away thinking, if God did that with a single prayer, what more does he want from us? And so now it's December and he still won't let me let this go. So I call Phoebe and I meet with Phoebe and I say, I think I want to do this. And she says, well, we want you to. And I'm like, whoa, slow down. Let's just do a pilot project. And because I want to see if I can meet the need.
Mhm.
I don't want to disappoint anyone or make a promise I cannot keep. By the end of May, we had helped 27 households. And I said, what happens if we turn this on full bore? And she said, Susan, I wish I could tell you, but there are 30 different agencies that help with housing. I'm like, will you put together a table for me? And Quinn, this was during the time we did PowerPoint. So I had a PowerPoint. I looked good, but the thing is they didn't even let me show it. They were like, when can we start?
Wow. Hey, that's always a good sign when you've got no presentation needed.
Exactly. And I said, well, slow down. What does this look like? And they said, Susan, I wish I could tell you. I said, I don't want to make a promise I can't keep. But there was this voice that kept saying, just say yes. So I did. And in September of 2019, we got our 501c3. Since 2019, we've helped over 3,300 households with basic furniture and household items. And by doing that, we are helping with sustainability because we're diverting all of that from the landfill. Over 1,000 tons diverted from the landfill. So that's my story.
That is incredible. And well, first, thank you. Thank you for having this drive and these moments of what else can we do? How can we take it to the next level? And your story is one that I think a lot of folks don't realize the process involved in starting a concept, going full on into the nonprofit community and taking it to that next level. Most want to get to that end game, right? They have an idea, they want to start a nonprofit. Fantastic, that's wonderful. But to be so intentional, to make sure, to your point, you don't overpromise, underdeliver, is very telling of you and very telling of the partners that helped you get here. So congratulations on that. And look where you are now, right? I mean, you've got a full board, you've got your team, you have a ton of volunteers. Tell me a little about the process of collection and how does that work? I know you've got some open donation hours, correct?
Yes. So donations are wonderful. Because of the size of our building, we try to have furniture or large donations all coming in on Monday and Friday between 10 and 2, because that's when we have volunteers. Then we'll have a bonus Saturday morning. Then if it's small and it's not a large piece of furniture, you can come during the week, Monday through Friday between 10 and 4 for the smaller things. We do pick up furniture. I'm not going to pick up blankets, but we do pick up furniture. On our website, there's a pickup form. Now, please remember, we are all volunteers. Yeah. So when we pick up, we're not professional movers. We need to make sure that that piece of furniture is readily available because most of our volunteers are over the age of 70. Okay? And so we do have partners with other trucking or junk places that will pick it up for you and give you a discount. It's all on our webpage. Give us a call if you can't get it on Monday or Friday, and we'll fit you in. It's just that on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we're trying to push orders out, and we have that one garage door. And I do not like total chaos. My attention deficit and OCD will go over the roof if we try to have things coming in at the same time things are going out. Absolutely. And so that's the why.
Excellent. And you mentioned the number of partners. It's been a constant theme throughout all of our conversations with our nonprofits, but your partnerships are really what make the distribution part possible, the ability to provide these items to clients. And the list is incredible. You mentioned it's from all over Eastern Iowa. It's from some of the go-tos, Willis Dady you mentioned, but Tailored Living Choices and Family Promise, ASAC, Department of Veteran Affairs. It's really telling of the need comes from so many different, and I think a lot of people will just kind of stereotype where somebody is starting from when they've gone from that homeless state to the ability to have a place to live. Circumstances are different across the board, and the list that you have is it demonstrates that. So these partners are incredible. If there is an organization that wants to reach out to you to explore partnership, do they just reach you directly, or
reach me directly? We'll set up a time to sit down and talk, and about what that expectation is and how we can help. We don't want to turn anyone away who's in need. And so we always find a way. Partnerships are twofold. We have partnerships to where we are receiving a referral, but then we have partnerships of how we get furniture, right? Absolutely. So right now, as we speak, one of the biggest needs we always have is beds, right? Right now, Van Meter is in Iowa City at the University of Iowa Memorial Union Hotel, bringing us beds.
Wow.
So the hotel reached out to us and said, hey, we're closing the hotel. Do you want all of our furniture? So hotels are a partner. We partner with furniture stores and mattress stores that when you're buying a piece of furniture, they're going to hand you my business card and say, if you're wondering what to do with the item you're replacing. Wow. We partner with the Lynn County landfill. We have 2 containers out there. So when you bring something up to the wall, there should be somebody chasing you down, telling you all about us. And if there's something in your truck that we can use, it's going to go into our container. We started that in July. Since July, we have diverted 6 tons of furniture from going over that wall for a second use.
That's amazing.
And so partnerships are so important on how to get things in. We have businesses, during the pandemic, unfortunately, there were restaurants that were closing or had to get rid of some of their furniture, and it would come to us for that next use. And so those things are just as important. We have to have just as much coming in as going out. And
opportunities in every corner.
Exactly. So if you were to come and tour, and please come, stop by, take a tour. Everything you see in the building today turns every 2 weeks.
It's incredible. And Susan, I know you've got a very committed board. You have some fun fundraisers and events to help spread awareness. I know in February you had a really fun Friends Trivia Night that I hear got pretty competitive.
It was very competitive. It was a lot of
people in it to win it.
Yeah. When Friends were on, I was raising kids, so it's a blur. But everybody had a great time. Coming up in April, on April 12th, we're having something that I'm calling charity. Sometimes we have an overstock sale. We have so many dining room chairs and so many bar stools and so much other things that we need to get it out of the building. And it's a way for us to make a little extra money. So when it comes to a dining chair, I'm doing $5, $5, $5. And so it's a way to get it out of the building, make room for more things to come in. Honestly, the people that we serve are moving into apartments that are about 950 square feet. So they don't always have a need for a table and chairs. Mm-hmm. And so we have a lot of chairs. So please stop by for that. We've got a couple other things in the works, but September 5th, which is the anniversary of our 501c3. Last year we did Cheers for 5 years. This year And going forward, it's called Furnishing the Future. And so it'll be a fundraiser, and bring your money.
I'm loving all of those names. Very creative in terms of the names of all of those fundraisers and events. That's excellent. Well, Susan, as we're wrapping up here, I just want to make sure people are aware of, you mentioned stop on by, take a tour, but your website is centralfurniturerescue.org, and
Yep.
that's got your list of partnerships. It's got some more information about the open donations that you mentioned earlier. Anything else as we're wrapping up that you'd like to let our viewers know about Central Furniture Rescue?
Well, we could not do what we do without you, whether that is volunteering time, whether that is telling people about us, whether it is bringing us stuff or helping us financially. We cannot do what we do without you. So thank you so much.
Well, and Central Furniture Rescue couldn't exist without you. So thank you for having that vision and that drive, and congratulations on all that you've accomplished in such a short amount of time. And we're so excited to have you be a part of Gazette Gives Back. This is your first year being a part of this program, and it's just been a fun ride to see you be able to connect and jump right on in. So thank you, Susan,
Thank you.
and thank you to our viewers for tuning into another episode of Get to Know Gives Back. Also want to give a shout out of thanks to our presenting sponsor, Collins Community Credit Union. They not only support and sponsor Gazette Gives Back throughout the year, but of course they are the sponsor for this podcast series. And I'm Quinn Pettifer. We'll see you next time.